Do you know what Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg all have in common? They're all INTJs. This Myers-Briggs personality type is nicknamed the architect and are expert problem solvers. However, they also struggle in relationships, and because of this, many find themselves frequently single. Today on Charisma, we're going to look at the 10 reasons INTJs are always single. Let's first break down this personality. Dimension 1. Introversion, I. If an INTJ goes to a crowded event or party, they'll likely leave drained and need a lot of alone time afterwards to recharge. This is because they are introverted, and so they get their energy from being alone. Dimension 2. Intuition, N. This doesn't mean that INTJs are secretly mind readers or can predict the future. Instead, their intuition dimension means that they concentrate on ideas and abstract concepts. Dimension 3. Thinking, T. There are two types of people in this world, those who follow their heads and those who follow their hearts. INTJs fall into the first category. This means that they make decisions based on facts and logic. Dimension 4. Judging, J. If you've ever seen an INTJ's living space, you probably noticed that it was pretty organized. Or if you've glimpsed their calendar, maybe you saw that everything was written neatly and they had a to-do list for each day. This is because INTJs have judging as their fourth dimension, which means that they are very organized. So what's the reason INTJs are always single? Number 1, they make decisions based on logic. As we saw, the INTJ's thinking trait means that they come to conclusions based on logic, not emotion. They value rational thought and even see emotion as interfering in the decision-making process. Because of this, they are quick to disregard their own emotions and those of others. This trait can present problems when an INTJ finds themselves in a relationship with someone who uses emotion as a decision-making tool. In this situation, the INTJ might deem their partner too emotional or irrational and try to encourage them to stop putting so much weight on their emotions. And even though they're intending to be helpful, the INTJ's attitude in this situation can come across as callous to their partner and even lead to the relationship falling apart. Number 2, they're critical. INTJs' minds are hyper-focused on facts and logic. They can quickly analyze a given situation and come up with a clear, informed answer or analysis. This skill also gives them the ability to pinpoint flaws in others' ways of thinking or doing things. And while other personality types might be more tactful in giving feedback, INTJs tend to give it to you straight and can come across as hypercritical in the process. This especially applies when it comes to relationships. If an INTJ sees a better way for their partner to do something, for instance, they are quick to point it out. Unfortunately, they often lack the skill to present this in a way that won't hurt their partner's feelings. The partner of an INTJ may frequently feel like they're under attack or are constantly being criticized. What's more, the INTJ often fails to see the harm in what they're doing, as to them, they're merely presenting a logical perspective. Number 3, they're impatient. At least in part due to their extroverted sensing, INTJs process things and make connections faster than most people. As a result, they are often prone to impatience. For instance, an INTJ and their partner might both be watching a movie, and because of how their mind works, the INTJ might draw connections in the plot sooner than their partner. If their partner is struggling to process these connections, an INTJ may become impatient with them. However, it is unrealistic for them to expect everyone's mind to work as theirs does. The partners of INTJs may feel talked down to in these situations and quickly grow frustrated with the relationship. Number 4, they are cold. As we mentioned earlier, INTJs have a hard time expressing their own emotions, but they also have difficulty when others come to them with emotions. While some say that INTJs lack empathy, this is not entirely the case. Instead, they bury their emotions so much that they come across as unfeeling. This can be particularly difficult when it comes to dating and relationships. If their partner comes to them upset after a hard day at work, for instance, an INTJ may struggle to acknowledge their feelings and instead try to reason through things. While they are genuinely trying to be helpful in this situation, an INTJ can have a hard time recognizing that this makes them seem dismissive of their partner's emotions. They may even defend their position if their partner brings it up, making them come across as even more uncaring. Number 5, they're emotionally guarded. Because of how much they value reason, INTJs have a hard time when it comes to processing their emotions. They tend to bury their feelings and pretend they don't exist rather than opening up. Relationships rely on open communication, though, and an INTJ's inability to process and share their feelings can make them come across as closed off. Their partner may feel like they're in a one-sided relationship and that they can never quite break through the cold exterior of the INTJ. Furthermore, when their partner tries to voice this to the INTJ, they can be quick to dismiss it as they have a strong conviction that logic is superior to emotion. This doesn't only come into play in a relationship, though. INTJ's emotional guardedness can also negatively impact them in the dating stage. This is because they can present as difficult to get to know or even pretentious on early dates due to their inability to open up. Number 6, they're rarely satisfied. INTJs are a future-focused personality type and are known for being perfectionists. They're constantly looking for new and improved ways of doing something, and as you may have guessed, this desire to constantly be enhancing things also applies to their approach to relationships and dating. On the first date, for example, an INTJ might be looking for ways to improve the conversation and not be present in the process. Or when they're in a relationship, an INTJ may constantly be thinking about how their partner could be better. However, this can lead their partner to feel like they're not good enough for an INTJ and that nothing will ever be good enough. Over time, this can cause an INTJ to struggle to find a partner who's on the same wavelength as them. Number 7, they're introverted. As we discussed at the start of this video, the first letter in the INTJ's acronym stands for introversion. This means that they get their energy from time by themselves, and in a relationship, they need space by themselves without their partner. And while many are accepting of introverts' requirements, INTJs may struggle with this in a relationship because they don't properly communicate their needs. This is in part due to the fact that INTJs tend to bury their emotions, and so they may not even fully recognize that their introversion is the reason they need space. This can frequently lead to miscommunication, and the INTJ may unintentionally wind up in a situation in which their partner feels that they don't want to spend time with them. Number 8, they're bad at first dates. While INTJs are great at a lot of things, if there's one thing they struggle with, it's small talk. This isn't because they're incapable of making chit-chat, but rather because they don't like talking about trivial things. Instead, INTJs want to get straight to the heart of the matter. In situations in which small talk is required, though, INTJs tend to struggle and can sometimes offend others. On a first date, for instance, they may bypass pleasantries and dive right into more intense topics. Later, when meeting their partner's family or friends, an INTJ may also skip the small talk. This can make INTJs appear socially awkward and, in some situations, arrogant and rude. Either situation, unfortunately, can result in an INTJ struggling to find themselves in a lasting relationship. Number 9, they're intense. To say that INTJs can be obsessive is a bit of an understatement. Their love for researching and analyzing, coupled with their perfectionist nature, means that this personality type can easily become consumed by a topic they find interesting. This is in part due to their extroverted sensing, which means that they're hyper-focused on information coming from the outside world. And when an INTJ becomes obsessed with a certain topic or idea, it's all they want to talk about. As we mentioned earlier, INTJs get bored by small talk and pleasantries. So, if they find something they're excited about, you can be sure you'll hear about it. However, this can become a problem when the INTJ monopolizes conversations by only talking about things they're interested in, and doesn't take the time to ask their partner about themselves. Over time, this can lead an INTJ's partner to view them as self-important and even arrogant. Number 10, they can be destructive. Because they are so focused on details and facts, an INTJ's mind can easily become overwhelmed. When this happens, this personality type develops what's known as grip stress, which occurs when their extroverted sensing function is over-triggered. Grip stress leads the INTJ to engage in reckless behavior. While this isn't a problem if INTJs are able to catch it soon enough, oftentimes they aren't in tune with their feelings enough to understand when grip stress is about to happen. If they are in a relationship or dating someone, this person might struggle to understand what's going on with the INTJ, thus leading to the relationship being more at risk. What about why INTJs don't conform? Watch this video to see our list.